Why isn't judo popular in the States? Mushmaster, where are you at? It says on this first page, we have a customer giving feedback explaining why he or she hates class, i.e., 30 to 40-minute warm up that has nothing to do with judo. In that thread, there were several customers who agreed and said, that's why I left my dojo. You people don't want to warm up. Every sport's warm up, bro. Yes, yet lots of responses in this same thread to the paying customer were, this is how we do it, and we aren't changing. Now we wonder why judo isn't popular, or someone asked the question, why don't we have JudoCon? You don't have a JudoCon? We got Jiu-Jitsu-Con. We don't have a Wrestling Con, though. And in that separate thread, we were told that it's the NGBs. Who's NGB? It's the NGB's fault. What does that mean? Judo is too hard. We ban leg grabs, etc. Those are all excuses. Here's what I posted to that thread asking about popularity months ago. You are going to get this. You're going to get that it's too tough, takes too long to get good at, etc. Yet tons of other extracurricular activities have no issues with this, including other martial arts. It's because we don't run dojos as businesses. Uh-oh, judo people. Roberto's not finalized. I don't think his dad's going to let him sign that contract. I mean, Roberto's a grown man, but he's going to listen to his father. Affliction paid me $300,000, and I didn't even fight a fight. Wow. Then they went under before I could even fight. What, man? LOL Snap, you lived a blessed life, bro. Making a ton of money, and did you bankrupt them, bro? What the fuck is convention? Like Jiu-Jitsu Con, Jiu-Jitsu Con, Judo Con. Well, there is no Judo Con. National governing body. Okay, thank you. Since your typical dojo, no one answers the phone. There's no website. There's no updated Google business page. A lot of jiu-jitsu schools too. There's no website. It's not designed properly. Jiu-jitsu too. When someone shows up to the dojo, there's no one there to greet them. The dojo smells like dirty geese. Uh-oh, judo. Come on, judo. Come on, judo. I'm saying dojo. Come on, judo. Do better. The dojo outside and inside presentation is not good, and the instructor thinks he or she is selling judo. Well, you are selling judo, but you're also selling your services, your your facilities, safety. You selling a lot of stuff when you own an academy. Let that be a lesson for you, LOL Snapped. It says, because we have wrestling in school, BJJ is far more popular in the United States than wrestling. Uh-oh. I didn't say that. He said that. Or the poster said that. And it's not close. We can get a pretty good estimate to how many wrestlers there are across the youth, high school, and collegiate and college levels. Collegiate, basically. The last numbers I could find, USA Wrestling has 300,000 registered members. Flow Wrestling claimed there are 300,000 wrestlers in high school. I don't know if high school wrestlers also have to be a part of USA Wrestling. Probably if they do, outside of school wrestling. But let's say they don't. There are, from what I could find, somewhere between 12,000 and 14,000 college wrestlers. Regardless of the numbers, it's safe to say there are under 1 million in the U.S. wrestlers. There's no question that at this point there are millions doing BJJ in the U.S. I would guess no less than 3 million. I think I heard Jimmy Pedro estimate there are 4 to 5 million people doing BJJ in the U.S. Whatever the actual number is, it's safe to say that wrestling's numbers aren't remotely close to BJJ. It's probably because in the U.S., judo classes are treated as a business, and there are better martial arts. They not treated like a business here in America. There are better martial arts businesses out there. In many other countries, for example, in Europe, judo is run as a sports club or hobby and on a voluntary basis for only a small membership fee to cover costs. So it's more accessible and people are willing to either put up with it or volunteer their own effort to improve it. I also heard it's because the U.S. interest in martial arts coincided with the karate craze, not the earlier judo craze. It started with the kung fu craze first, I believe. In the 70s, then karate, then taekwondo, right? I could be wrong. Judo was first. Judo was popular, the 20s and 30s. Also, I remember when I was a kid, no one wanted to send kids to do judo because it was seen as being more dangerous than karate. Since the IJF, International Jiu-Jitsu or Judo Federation, Make sure that judo is first and foremost an Olympic sport, and no one in the U.S. cares about that. Bring back leg grabs, train no-gi, and train self-defense scenarios, like trying to enter into throws while the other person throws strikes with gloves on, and suddenly gringos will be interested. The current federation leadership is basing their model on the success of international tennis. Guess what? No one in the U.S. follows international tennis either. A little bit, but not like super hard. Greco-Roman wrestling is our most popular and successful grappling art by a country mile. Are you sure? Where are you talking about? Mixed martial arts as a media market is still rather new in this. He's in a different country. But even within that segment, judo still gets less love than BJJ or wrestling. Judo captured the fascination of Russians who exported it to the Soviet world both as judo and sambo, which can be seen in the top talent coming from the Russian ex-Soviet space, Central Asia, and former communist bloc countries. Even France's judo culture, the second best Olympic judo nation on the planet, was established by Russians. Didn't know that. Mowington says, I kind of agree with this rant. Don't like the judo culture and comp rules. BJJ is more relaxed, so more fun. That's true. Judo's fun too. My gym is clean. Look up Haven Jiu-Jitsu, Houston, Texas. We even got pictures of the bathroom. Okay, we might check that out. How many bathrooms you got though, bro? That's what I care about. USA Wrestling is just one organization. It's not even the biggest one. In America, AAU, okay. It says AAU and a few other organizations have over 1 million plus people in them. Okay. For wrestling though, judo, Greco-Roman wrestling is for all the folk style and freestyle rejects that couldn't hang. That I don't want to hear that from you, LOL Snap, because you got one of the best Greco-Roman wrestlers. What's my man that just retired? Can't remember his name, but the big guy. And think about Carolyn, Alexander Carolyn. You got some really good Greco-Roman wrestlers. Kamal Bey. 3 million, you think? Maybe, I don't know. If you count youth wrestlers, it might be a ton. It's not only in the U.S. These are not excuses. Judo is difficult. The progress is slow. You need to learn technique names and rules in Japanese. Judo hurts. Injuries happen along the way. Also, you need a judo gi and a good infrastructure to keep training for a longer time. After all of this is provided, you are getting Diashi humiliated in the first 10 seconds of a match by a smaller guy wearing a ragged judo gi who has been training since he was 4. Most adults don't have time or guts for this, especially in America. If an adult finds a sport not compelling, they will not sign their kids in. Paying customers who demand to be good at judo after a month are delusional. Where are my jiu-jitsu people at? You couldn't have a Moneyberg in judo. It would be tough. Says the long warm-ups are there for a reason, to prepare a body for movements outside of regular people range. If you think you can skip that part, you won't train too long. BJJ is popular because it's immensely easier for newcomers. When it's become difficult at blue belt, the dropout rate is high. I don't know. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. You know what? All grapplers are rejects. Wrestlers are rejects. Jiu-jitsu people are rejects. Judo people are rejects. Sambo people, everybody. We got another post that says, "Is it wishful thinking that we have a judo con someday?" So just so you know, that is they want a judo con, but that's from Jiu-Jitsu Con. Helen's from Maryland. Mushmaster, stay away. Actually, she do need to settle down. She could settle down with you if you want her. What? I'm sorry, Helen. That was a joke, Helen. That was a joke. You keep doing whatever you want to do, baby. I mean, sorry, that's misogynist. I'm sorry. You do whatever you want, Helen. You're a strong, independent lady. So this is from Jiu-Jitsu. This is for a Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Oh, it's from Jiu-Jitsu Con. I think so, right? Is that Jiu-Jitsu Con? Looks like it. It says 14,000 competitors at approximately $175 each. It wasn't that much money. Olympic babies. Yeah, you got to keep up with Mika and Amit, bro. Come on, man. That baby can do wrestling, judo, or jiu-jitsu. It says 14,000 competitors at approximately $175 each. It wasn't that much. Untold numbers of spectators paying $35 per day. This is the 2025 Jiu-Jitsu-Con in Vegas. This could have been judo. It should have been judo. Why isn't it judo? We need to make this judo. Forget the old ways. We must adapt to the modern times. I feel like we read this before, but it's good to read again. We must adapt to modern times. Come on, judo. Come to the modern time. Come to 2025, judo. Judo senseis should make more money teaching judo to bring professionals to the sport. Judo clubs should charge sufficient tuition to provide top-notch facilities. We definitely read this, but it's important to say. But to do this, we must grow. If you're a judo black belt and not teaching somewhere, start. If you don't have the finances to start your own dojo, partner with a BJJ club. If you have your own dojo, start offering clinics and tournaments. Travel. Support your fellow clubs. We have so much potential. Let's do this. Come on, judo. What you guys doing, man? Get your money up, judo. Come on. I might have read this, but we'll read it again. It says for judo, the Olympics are pretty big every 4 years, and the next one is in the U.S. I'm hoping you guys place at the Olympics. Master, what's going to happen if USA Judo doesn't place or medal at the Olympics 2028? What's going to happen? Is somebody going to lose their job or something? Going to lose some funding. Somebody going to lose some funding. It says Olympics isn't big unless they allow white belts to sign up and compete for a novice level Olympic medal. It says BJJ Bro spotted. This has flown over everyone's head who downvoted this. It's an athlete's dream to train for 11 years to become a world champion at white belt beginner. Less money allocation. Oh, well, how much? They ain't got no money. Do they have money now? Where's the money? They can get less money? All right, USA Judo. You guys didn't do nothing. You didn't perform. You're out of here. I guess we could lose our Olympic qualifications, I guess. I don't know. What do I know, man? I'm just throwing ideas out there. Maybe a judo person will listen. The whole thread was a dumpster fire. It was very entertaining to read. What thread were we talking about? Since it wasn't on Facebook, I'll take a look. USJA. Ooh, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna do some research. What's less than 0? Less than 0. All right, judo, you're out of here. We're gonna bring jiu-jitsu. Nah, they won't bring us in. Says I would love to see judo gain more popularity like BJJ, but maintain its class and sportsmanship that is lacking in BJJ. We don't have any of that. Says BJJ culture has big downsides. Our culture is terrible. But where else can we witness coach beatdowns and elite coaches threatening referees and the vitamins? Says to quote the great grandmaster and distinguished philosopher Nathaniel Diaz, a sizable majority of professional athletes are ingesting performance-enhancing vitamins. That is true. We're gonna go find that Facebook video or face. Oh, there is a JudoCon. It wasn't. Nobody knew about it though. This was the first time I attended Jiu-Jitsu-Con to compete in Masters Worlds. I got destroyed. I couldn't help thinking how amazing this kind of spectacle would be for the judo community. Free seminars, interviews, and talks from legends. Athletes rubbing shoulders and taking pictures. Vendors selling merch. Dozens of matches going on at the time. Teams from around the world cheering their friends on, etc. The atmosphere was just incredible. They said there was a JudoCon. Nobody went to this crap. Sorry. Come on, you're gonna see nobody went to this thing. Nobody. there was a JudoCon. Where was it? It was August 8th and 9th. It was 2 days. They had 4 sponsors, 5 sponsors. Nobody went to this thing. They had a 6 p.m. judo for BJJ and BJJ for judo. Saturday. That wasn't no jiu-jitsu. The JudoCon. Get out of here, bro. Says if you're a black belt and not teaching somewhere, start. This is terrible advice and will kill judo faster than anything else in the U.S. One of the biggest problems is how hard it is to run a dojo. Compared to BJJ, judo pricing is generally lower. The space requirements are higher and the sport more physically demanding and less snow. This means it's more expensive to operate a dojo with less demand, lower awareness, and fewer qualified customers, and lower ARPU. I don't know what that means. Getting a bunch of teachers and increasing supply without addressing the demand. There is demand. It's just from jiu-jitsu. Addressing the demand side will just drive existing dojos, most of whom are hanging on by a fingernail as it is, out of business. The question to ask is, why are high-level judoka not opening dojos? Well, look at Travis Stevens. He's over there working a full-time job, building schools. Look at Kayla Harrison. She's fighting MMA. Look at Ronda. She was doing WWE, and now she might be fighting again. Yeah, that's a big. I can't answer that question. Where's my judo people at? Why are high-level judo people not opening dojos? Well, Travis Stevens does have he has a couple gyms, I believe. Why are they not opening gyms or dojos in the U.S. and what can be done to help make it viable? USA Judo, where are you? To pursue professionally, both as instructors and competitors. Where's USA Judo? They got to answer this for us. I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but many of the issues you mentioned are exaggerated, namely exaggerated by poor teaching skills and inflexible instructors. Right now, in many places, the demand is there. I would love to do some judo. Can't find it. There might be one or two places not convenient at all. Schedule not convenient. Location not convenient. Nothing convenient. Mushmaster says, would you start a dojo in this economy? That is true. But even when the economy was better, there were no dojos. Maybe in Maryland, New Jersey, Maryland, there possibly New York. There's going to be some dojos. But outside of that, outside of the East Coast and West Coast, where are the dojos at? My homeboy, he got to go to Japan just to get his training in for the Olympics. I guess he can't do that here. But that's right. The economy is not. Yeah, that's a good point there, Mushmaster. Yeah. There just isn't enough supply of instructors, and in many cases, the instructor's way of teaching or the service they are providing is turning those customers off. But they are the only ones available in close vicinity or the right schedule. Someone says this couldn't be more untrue unless the instruction or facilities were absolutely horrible. I've never seen a judo dojo struggle to fill the mats. More often, they're overcrowded and only offer class 2 to 3 times per week. Judo's problem is purely a supply side one because the requirements to teach judo imposed by our NG national governing bodies, I remember that, NGBs, are far higher than any other combat sport, and because the prices are too low to incentivize expansion and new dojos. Why can't they charge more? I mean, of course, the economy, but I don't know what they charge. In the U.S., I've talked to a number of dojo owners, and their economics are terrible. The ones that are full are non-profits, and coaches work day jobs. That's just how most jiu-jitsu schools are too. But that's also why they only have classes 2 to 3 days a week, because they're borrowing space in the basement of a church or something. All right, judo, come work with us in jiu-jitsu. We'll work with you guys. You can have more than 2 to 3 days a week. You can have 4 to 5 days a week. Come to jiu-jitsu class or come to jiu-jitsu schools. The places that have to pay rent are constantly being undercut by these cheaper nonprofits and struggle to break even because in a metro area they might be paying $15,000 a month in rent. Wow. So they need 100 students just to make rent, but the nonprofit is charging half what they do, which leaves the option to be to share space with a BJJ place. But that's not going to really grow judo if it's the backup supplemental sport. I don't agree with that. I think you might have people in jiu-jitsu class that, you know what, I like judo more. I'm gonna go all in judo. Or if you have kids cross training jiu-jitsu and judo, little Tina, you're really good at judo. Let's enter you into some tournaments. Oh, you want to do this? You want to be good at judo? Let's do some more tournaments. I think whatever judo's doing now is not working. So I mean, clear. The economics are horrible means is not equal to there is no demand. The economics in judo are horrible because we have a culture of doing things on the cheap for cheap. You come to jiu-jitsu, we gonna charge. We charge left and right. There's nothing stopping people from charging, and plenty of gyms these days are thriving, charging BJJ prices and offering BJJ quality facilities and schedules. The jiu-jitsu schools are offering saunas, steam room, cold plunge, everything. What are my judo schools offering? Clean mats, clean bathrooms. We need the judo programs to catch up. Says you want the schools to be charging BJJ prices and offering BJJ quality facilities and schedules. A lot of these jiu-jitsu schools got full schedules, morning, afternoon, and night usually. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it's always been done, so a lot of people can't imagine alternatives. Correct. Most judo instructors that are failing because they are not doing things right. Mushmaster says, if I had a gym, I'd have a combined curriculum, but the kids would do judo primarily. All right, Mushmaster, get started on it, bro. We need some Olympians, bro. That's like a 10+ year investment there, though. Says this is incorrect. My judo people love to jiu-jitsu people love to argue, but judo people for sure going to argue. We got about 10 more minutes, guys, but I'm gonna stick on this page here. This is incorrect. This is what I posted about 3 months ago when the question was, why is judo not popular in America? You're going to get that is too tough, takes too long to get good at, etc. Yet tons of other extracurricular activities have no issues with this, including other martial arts. It said your typical dojo, nobody answers the phone. There's no website. There's no updated Google business page. I know jiu-jitsu schools like this. If there is a website, it's not properly designed. When someone shows up to the dojo, there's no one there to greet them. The dojo probably smells like dirty geese. The dojo outside and inside presentation is no good. The instructor thinks he or she is selling judo. There are more popular sports than BJJ that don't have cons. Boxing, paddleball. You ain't making money in boxing like that. Paddleball, etc. are sports that don't require much space but don't have a huge convention around it. We're talking about grappling sports, bro. Mushmaster says, nah, I'm not running a school. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I think BJJ is unique in that it's created a strong and inviting culture. Comparing judo or any other sport to BJJ is hard. Aren't we the same sport, though? You guys keep saying it's basically just judo, but then you're going to say it's different. It ain't different. You whatever judo or whatever jiu-jitsu can do, judo can copy us. In my opinion, it's not BJJ. It's not just BJJ, the sport itself, that's popular. It's the marketing, the access to legends and other midlife crisis and prime age men to talk to, the tattoos, supplements, etc., the culture in general that is attractive. Why can't judo have that? Judo would have to start online and build a culture, as would other sports, in order to have this kind of event. Well, we see this with wrestling. Wrestling just works. They just work with us. The wrestlers be cross-training. You got Jason Off over there cross-training with Kingsway and New Wave, whoever. Nicky Rod came over from wrestling. J-Rod came over from wrestling. Brandon Reed came over from wrestling. What's the other kid? What's the kid that did not Hidley? What's the kid that Pixley? Pixley came over from wrestling. Look, we embraced him. Travis Stevens came over from judo. We embraced him. We embracing everybody, bro. We need judo to, whatever you get your stuff together and come over. Come work with us. We'll work with you. Most jiu-jitsu schools would love to have a judo program. We ain't got no takedowns. We want to learn some takedowns too. Jason Whitfield says judo seems like a good idea when people see it, but after they try a class of picking themselves up off the mat for an hour, it's not that appealing. We can't teach it here like in Japan and Europe. That's fine. When I go to Colton Brown's, they bring out that crash pad for you. If it's your first couple classes, you get that crash pad. Why are you throwing new people on the ground and they don't know how to break fall? You get crash pads for new people and teach them safely. You don't teach like the old school guys. Teach like the new school people. I think you nailed it here. BJJ may have gotten an initial exposure with UFC, but it also came at a time when the country and world were starting to get online. BJJ, in a way, grew up with the internet. That's true, but we had to overcome a lot of hurdles in jiu-jitsu. People thought it was weird, it's fruity, it's rainbow. But look at us now, it's popular. But it wasn't always that way. Back in the day, I used to tell people I did judo, I did wrestling, because they could understand that. They were like, what is jiu-jitsu? Is that judo? Judo had the leg up for years. Not a century, but a couple of decades. You telling me they couldn't have made better use of all that marketability? Since BJJ grew up with the internet, and as a whole, they were very ahead of the game with digital media than judo. Why didn't judo do that? Better websites, better merch, better use of SEO, better use of social media. Better use of social media, better business practices in the 21st century. Judo came along at a time when photography was really growing and photographs and books were becoming a big thing. That played a role in judo's growth back then. There are people who have contributed to judo's online culture, myself included, but people have to support it. That's what gets me and the original post. I don't blame the OP, but I've heard for years that things that people in judo should do, people go out and do it, but it's not supported. You gotta support your sport, man. Yet people come up with BJJ soap, which is just more expensive antibacterial soap, and it sells. Well, that's not our fault. The popularity of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the United States is directly tied to its exposure from MMA. There have been judo people in MMA this whole time. Cairo Parisian. Now you got Kayla Harrison. You had Ronda Rousey. Whose fault is that? They didn't make use of that. That's not our fault. It says for judo to ride in on this popularity in the spirit of this post, it would need to go back to pre-2010 rules and eliminate the restrictions on its athletes competing in other sports. Yeah. All right, judo, make those changes. The IJF determines how the sport will be, and it is determined by baby boomer Central and Western Europeans. And all of those considerations are alien and contradictory to them and their wrong ideas. Says it's not so. It's not. So many sports, including judo, got exposure from MMA. Look at the Dagestanis. They keep talking about judo every chance they get. Says Muay Thai is another big one besides jiu-jitsu. Muay Thai hasn't grown at all in the past 20 years. It is getting popular. At least the shorts have. BJJ became a popular adult hobby because it has the best culture and business model for adult hobbyists. That's not saying very much. Someone else says, as a BJJ guy who is dabbling in judo, I really think judo could be bigger. It should be, especially because in the U.S., you really can't go learn wrestling anywhere as an adult, except at the jiu-jitsu school with the wrestling program. I live in a major-ish U.S. metro with hundreds of BJJ schools, but only 3 judo schools that I'm aware of. Of those 3, only one has a daily judo class. This is a huge problem. Secondly, BJJ is a bad spectator sport, but judo is worse, in my opinion, and it really shouldn't be. It's a sport about dramatic throws, after all, but all the rules limit options and encourage frequent stops. It's like watching baseball, but even MLB changed rules to make the game faster and ratings surged. So judo needs a makeover, basically. All right, I can't keep talking about judo. Judo, get your money up. Get your money up. You might need Craig Jones. Craig Jones, do you want to save judo next? I know you're not passionate about it, but do you want to save judo? Can I refresh that? There we go. All right, man. We talked about judo. What else do we talk about? Jesus Christ. Get off my face. Where can I put it at? Right there. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. All right. Jason Whitfield says Shintaro Higashi. Yeah, shout out to him. He's got a good YouTube. He's in New York and has a really good program for hobbyists. Guides them along slowly and only puts beginners with experienced teammates to make it safe. There you go. There's the follow that. I mean, you got people like Higashi, you got Colton Brown, you got Travis Stevens, you got Jay Flo. Jimmy Pedro, all these guys, all this knowledge. Why don't they come together, make it their own affiliation or something? Jay Flo doing his own thing. Why can't he work together with everybody to create a new affiliation or association or something? I'm sure USA Judo will not approve of that, but whatever. You might need to say screw USA Judo. Can you get rid of the people over there if they're not helping your sport? If they're a cancer on the sport, get rid of them.